Good morning, everybody. It's a wonderful, beautiful day. I can't even remember what day it is. Give me a second. It's Sunday. All right. Smoking out my London, England pipe here. I'm smoking Peterson's Sunset Breeze. And today I got a change up, mostly because I'm kind of running low on funds. I'm drinking some good old tea, with brown sugar in it, and I tell you what, it tastes pretty good. Well, anyways, the title of the video is Ytpc. I got a question for y'all, and this is the question I have for y'all. Question I have for y'all this morning is this: can you really have enough blends of tobacco or too many blends of tobacco? I know there are a lot of people that made a video about this, but I figured I'd make a video about it based on my own point of views. Anyways, I had a friend over and I was showing her my tobacco cellar, which is a glorified closet for now. And I told her, I said, here, check this out. And I was showing her all the cool tins I got with, some designs on them and everything. And she tells me, she looks at me, she goes, that is just way too much tobacco for anybody to have. She goes, why do you need that much tobacco? I said, well, it's like this. I said, it's like this. I said, it's because she don't drink, she don't smoke, and she's, not old enough to really drink neither. And anyhow, I told her, I said, it's kind of like how you got many flavors of candy. I said, you got lots of variety of flavors, right? She goes, yeah. I said, well, each one of these blends of tobacco in their own right and in their own way have many different flavors. And I was going through telling her which tins have what flavors. Well, I had a tin open and I said, smell this. Tell me what you think about this. And she's like, it just smells like some horrible tobacco to me. And I said, well, that's understandable. I said, and I mean, she used to smoke, but she don't no more. But she was a cigarette smoker. And for those that still smoke cigarettes, I just like to say, I've never found a flavor in a cigarette ever. Except for a menthol. It was the only flavor change I've ever had in a cigarette. And so, anyways, she's like, okay, well then, I'm with her and I'm smoking a pipe, and I said, well, let me ask you this. I said, what's this room note smell like to you? And she goes, what do you mean? I said, well, this is leaving a room note. I said, this is an aromatic. And I said, I rather like the room note myself personally. And she says to me, there really ain't much of a smell I can smell. I said, well, there you go. And this comes from someone that used to smoke. And so it just struck the question in my mind, Ytpc, of can you really have too much tobacco? Can you have way too many blends? And if so, what should your limit be? I mean, should you find a particular blend you like and buy more bulk of that blend, and then here and there, once in a while when you run a low? Or is it good to have multiple varieties so you're never bored or get burnt out on one flavor or another? And then there's also the other aspect of it. Are you just a collector or not a collector? And then she also told me, she goes, "You have way too many pipes. Why do you need so many pipes?" And I said, "Well, you have to have a rotation." She goes, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well," said, "for example," I said, "if you're smoking out of the same pipe constantly," I said, "granted, I might smoke maybe once or twice a week, maybe, depending on what type of blended tobacco, then maybe once a day." But I told her, I said, "if you're somebody that really likes smoking your tobacco and everything and tasting the flavors every day and a real consumer of it," I said, you ain't gonna want to smoke out of the same pipe constantly." And I said, reason being is one, many flavors. I said two, ghosting issues, and I had to explain to her what ghosting was. And for any of you newbies out there that don't know what ghosting is, more or less it's like you smoke, say you smoke a straight non-aromatic and a pipe that you have smoked nothing but straight aromatics in, the aromatic flavor is going to ghost, and you're going to taste that aromatic flavor more than the straight Virginia or Balkan or whatever you're wanting to try that's a non-aromatic. And so that's what ghosting is, just as an example. There are other videos out there in the Ytpc of people that explain that better and in better depth, and I recommend checking all them out. That's how I learned. And then, anyways, I said, and not only that, I said you can cause burnout, just all sorts of nasty things could occur. And so I up and told her, I said, and not only that, I said, there's two aspects to this hobby. And she goes, "It's a hobby?" I go, "Yeah." I said, "At least for me. I mean, there are some people out there that are, you know, they just love and enjoy smoking so much that they decided, well, why not add pipe smoking to their repertoire. And I said, I'm more of a hobbyist smoker. I said, I've smoked cigarettes, I've smoked cigars, and I said, and I decided to try smoking pipe. And I said, for some reason, the pipe just feels right to me. And not only that, I'm native too, so I kind of feel like maybe it's part of that native culture in me, but a different type of pipe, not a prayer pipe or ceremonial pipe, but still a pipe just seems more natural to me for some reason. I don't know why. And anyhow, um, I up and told her. I said, you got the collector aspect of it, and she goes, okay. I said, there's lots of blends of tobacco out there that people like to collect, just like some people like collecting bottles of wine. I said, then there's the pipe aspect of it where people love collecting pipes because some of these pipes out here are beautiful, and they really are. And I told her about the artisan pipes and all that stuff. Hey, if you ever think to join along and everything, and I really, I really got in depth with that with her. And so she kind of got the idea about it. So, it's really awesome. Hey, what's happening, Wiper Pipes? And good morning to you too, buddy. Thanks for joining me. By the way, just to let everybody know, I don't have my other screen on, so I really can't read long comments. But if you got a long comment, wait till the broadcast is over and leave a comment in the comment section below. But, yeah. And so, I kind of enlightened her idea about something. And also, I want to share an idea that I've done recently. And I got the idea off of Mr. Justin Taylor one day when he was showing off some of his cobs. Of course, I'm going to do this with all my pipes eventually, since I really ain't got no pipe rack or can afford a pipe rack, even though I've had a few ideas of modifying something else. And the whole idea of modifying in my head kind of came from Ben the Bagpiper, who's always showing things that he's modified with corn cobs and stuff of that nature. And so I just kind of, got the gears in the brain going, and I'll share this with you. But look what I done with a recycled jar that I think held pickles, I think. Hey, that's cool. At least I'm not the only one. But check this out. All I done was just do this number, and it works. It really is. I mean, what's the difference between that and putting your pins or whatever else in a jar? I figured, it's not hurting them or anything. It's just kind of sitting there. And I thought about taking and getting me some felt and gluing some felt around the lip here just to kind of add a little extra protection, and everything to keep my pipe from rubbing. That's why I only got my cobs in here right now, because I don't want to put no briar or nothing in it. But I figured, that'd be kind of neat. A little neat idea, a way to recycle. Yeah, it is a real good idea, man. At least I think so. I mean, I use that, stuff like that, for that. And, like I've showed this before, but, I like to paint. And I use an old jar to hold paint. Sorry about the interruption there. I forgot I had set an alarm. And then I got another old jar over here that I use for my pens and stuff of that nature. Just kind of recycle some things, Excuse me while I relight this real quick. I can't find my lighter. I lost my lighter somewhere. It kind of makes me a little sad because it was my hippy trippy dippy lighter. Hey, I love all too. They're mighty fine. Hey, thanks for joining me. It's a fine, fine morning. It's 10 o'clock, top of the hour here in the States, in the good old Hoosier State. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I may have spent this. In fact, I plan on olive pits and a little olive tree just pop out of the dirt. Hey, that's pretty cool, buddy. Guys, I think it's spent. It's a mighty fine looking tobacco, it really is. I'll show you what it looks like. I know I've done like a little review kind of thing on this blend, but I just figured I'd show y'all the tin again. I think it's mighty fine. That's what I was smoking this morning. Mighty, mighty good. If you ain't got it, I recommend trying it if you like an aromatic. And it's not a heavily aromatic neither. I mean, the tin note's beautiful. The room note is excellent, I think. But taste-wise, it's not that good. Not that strong. Oh yeah, I find it very nice. Something I always thought. I watched this video about olive oil, extracting olive oil. If I had a true green thumb and grew an olive tree, I would make my own olive oil and know it was pure and use it for cooking. I love cooking. Haven't tried it yet, but I love the Peterson Connoisseur's Choice. I'm not too sure what Connoisseur's Choice is, or if that just means to choose one. I'm not all that fancy with knowledge on terminology. Matter of fact, I really don't consider myself to be all that bright. Everything I know is from making mistakes that turned into lessons. Or at least as long as I don't repeat the same mistake. You know, I. Oh, well, that sounds mighty fun. I might have to check into that. Connoisseur's Choice. If I could see that long enough, I think I'd put that down to remember it. You know, I love aromatics. I've tried straights before. Now, I've had some of the. I've been slowly trying some of the Balkan blends, but it's what old Cora, the corncob piper, had sent me. It's your favorite arrow? Well, that's pretty cool. I definitely gotta try it now. I don't know if you guys um, got this up north for all my friends up there in good old Canada. Um, I remember. Forgive me, I'm having my I can't remember names. Forgive me, but you just popped up a comment a second ago. Um, I remember you done a video where you showed this blueberry beer. I think it was by Budweiser or something like that. Here in the states, I call these cheap beers. We got this beer called Hurricane, High Gravity, and 211. Well, it's cheap beer, but it gets you drunk quick if that's what you're after is a quick buzz. It'll do the job. Well, they started producing flavors with this stuff, and I'm like, I'm kind of iffy about this. So I decided to try a couple, and I don't know if you got it up north, but if you do, you might as well check it out. I've nicknamed them tall and nasties because it's nasty stuff. After about 3 or 4 swigs, taste kind of grows on you. That or your taste buds go numb from it. One of the two. And anyways, uh, I decided to buy 2 cans of this cheap flavored stuff. And they had like a strawberry, I guess, flavor and a pineapple flavor. And I already know like what a strawberry daiquiri tastes like and all that stuff. So I kind of put that one on the back burner. And I stuck this 1 can of it in the freezer. And I was smoking the blend I was smoking. And I figured, well, I wonder what this would be like. So I cracked her open after it being in the freezer for about 15 minutes or so. And it was a little slushified, but that's okay with me. Colder that nasty stuff is, anyways, the better it goes down. Unless you're German. I hear Germans liking that type of stuff warm. I've tried it warm once just to see. No, I'd rather have it cold. And anyways, I up and tasted it, and you know what? I didn't get one nasty taste from that stuff. It actually tasted like something very premium. So I can't remember the name of it to save my life, but if you got it up there in old Canada, it'd be next to the cheap beer. And I don't know if you got 211, High Gravity, or Hurricanes up there, but it'd be in that general area. If you got it up there, check it out sometime. Just thought of that. Well, yesterday I was at the bottom of the barrel in the coffee container, and I didn't have quite enough to make a full pot. So, yeah, I hear you that. The first and last time I was up in your neck of the woods, well, I don't know your neck of the woods, but I had an uncle that used to expedite campers, and he was going to this big dealership up there in old Canada, place called Red Deer up there, and I cannot remember the province it's in, but it was up there. I think. Oh, I don't know if it was on the border or the outskirts of British Columbia, but oh, Alberta. Well, that's where we was headed, and we went through a town called Regina, and that was where I experienced my first Tim Hortons. Oh, I love Tim Hortons. I would love to meet the woman that's still living if she's living. I would love to meet her, shake her hand, and tell her I would work for donuts. I would. And coffee. But anyhows, yeah, we went through Saskatchewan, and I don't know why we went through Saskatchewan. I really ain't directionally familiar with anything up there, to be quite honest with you. I just know the name of the places we went through before we got to Red Deer. And anyways, and the crazy thing was too, I apparently I guess the borders closed too at night during a certain time. So like a certain time of night on the state side, you can't cross into Canada. At least not the way we went. And anyways, so we pretty much camped outside on the border. Oh, I love Timmy's. I was a fan. And then when I found out that the whole background story of the Tim Hortons, I just fell in love with it more because I love hockey. Hockey is awesome. A lot of people don't in the states don't like hockey, but yet we got a lot of teams in this country, and I find that very odd. Why is it hockey ain't as popular as the NHL is beyond me. It should be equal, with baseball running in between the two, and then basketball. But anyways, it's beyond me. But when I found out that Tim Horton himself was a hockey player, and I can't remember what team he played on or any of that stuff, but when I found that out, it just made me love Tim Hortons even more. Because I felt like, well, eating at a Tim Hortons, I'm helping supporting the best game in the entire world, hockey. Anyways, I experienced my first Tim Hortons there in a little town called Regina, and the radio station that we picked up in that town, awesome. I can't remember what we was listening to, but it was a mix of heavy metal all the way up to some pop star stuff that I really don't care about, but And anyways, then from there we went somehow got to Red Deer, and whoa, seriously? No way. Well, I tell you what, no offense then. Look for everything to start going to crap, I tell you that. I used to work at a Burger King. Man, that's sad. I'm not joking. Look for stuff to start going for crap if that's the case. Anyhows, um, then anyways, we get up there to Red Deer and everything, and I don't know what it is about some people, and this is going to sound maybe kind of racial, I don't know, or prejudice, whatever it is, but this company that my uncle worked for, they've sent a lot of people up to Canada, and they've always had bad experiences. Well, my uncle, on the other hand, you can throw him in a crowded room, and if it involves what he does for a living, he gets along with you, majorly. And so this company was always sending him up to Canada because with the people this company dealt with in Canada, always reported back with good reform or whatever that fancy word is that means giving a good report about the delivery driver and everything. And so they started getting better business with people up there in Canada when they would send him. So, we was at this dealership for a while because apparently my uncle and this guy up there, they shot the breeze for a good while and everything. And I'm just looking around. And anyhow, the guy that owned this camper dealership, my uncle had told him about how I detailed vehicles for a living at that time and everything else, and I could have had a job in Canada Only problem was, he forgot, this guy didn't realize that I live down here in the States, and he's like, well, I'll put him up until you can save him enough money, get a place of his own up here, and da 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 da. You know, I mean, I could have became a Canadian citizen if I wanted to. I had dual citizenship, probably. The way this guy really was looking for a guy who knew how to detail not only vehicles, but I guess he was going to show me how to do campers and all that stuff. And I was sitting there thinking, you know, that's just too much to worry about. And not only that, you know, like your work visa or whatever you got to have when you work in a different country or something, you know. And not to mention the taxes. I would barely make anything, I think. But anyways, it was a wonderful experience. But the thing I loved the most, that impacted me, that made me love Canada outside of the fact of hockey, is we went from there, and I think this began in the British Columbia province. I'm not too for sure. It's been a while since I looked at a map. But we went to the very, very top of, I think it's called the Crow's Nest, if I remember right. Is either the Crow's Peak or the Crow's Nest. And we took that all the way back into the States. That whole, from where that led, however that ended up being back into the United States. And that's when I experienced getting out. What am I right about, buddy? Am I right about the Burger King buying out the Tim Hortons and look out for everything going to crap? Or the taxes and stuff I was talking about? But anyways, we took that all the way back to the States, you know, and beautiful scenery. And like, you know, you see these paintings sometimes, or these pictures where you be, you know, show a little, or you even see these videos, you know, in movies or whatever, you know, people driving through the mountains, and all of a sudden you see this lake. Oh yeah, Crow's Nest. It's a mighty fine place, and I'm glad I was right. I couldn't remember, but yeah, I love that drive. I love to go back through there sometime, especially with the knowledge I have now and like YouTube and everything. I would love to, so much love to. But we took this all the way back down into the States. But there was a section where we pulled off, you know, and I didn't realize I was actually standing next to a mountain. And my mom said, "Hey son, look up. I interview you. I've never been out west." Hey, I have once. I'm kind of directionally challenged. I'm not too sure what that, if that's like west in your country, or you mean all the way down here into like the states of the west. But it all was a good experience. It's only happened once to me in my life, but still, it was a wonderful experience. And anyhow, like I was also saying before I jumped the gun, well, I'll finish what I was saying. Anyways, my mom snapped a picture. Well, later on when we got back home, I looked at the picture. I was like, "Mom, is that really part of the mountain?" She goes, "Yes." And I was leaning against it, you know, had my hand like this, leaning against a mountain. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is beautiful." Well, then, you know, I noticed something that you see sometimes in movies or paintings. I didn't think this really existed. I thought there was just Hollywood made up crap. But you go along these little valleys, you know, along this mountain road, and as you're going and winding through, once in a while, you'll see a lake. A big old lake, not man-made, natural, and what looked like a little community just formed around the lake. It was beautiful, and like I don't know how kilometers or meters and all that works, but I'm going to roughly say maybe every 4 to 5 miles down these little bending, winding road, you would see something like that. And it was beautiful. And I wish I could have got a picture of some of this, but I couldn't. And it just blew me away. Now, this is probably going to sound pretty typical of somebody from the States going up to Canada. One thing I was hoping to see, since we was in this area, I was hoping to see a moose wild or something. You know, I wanted to get me a picture of a moose. Well, that never happened, but I seen some deer. That was wonderful too. You know, it was great, but I'm like, I'm in Canada. I want to see a moose. Never saw a moose, but it was wonderful anyways. Well, guys, I'm going to say Wherever you're at in this world, may you be blessed. Thank you for joining me. Thank you to all the fans. Thank you for all the new fans. Thanks to all my Canadian friends up in Canada. May you all be blessed. And until next time, everybody, thank you. Thank you for hitting like, share. Hey, enjoy watching you too, man. Oh, and also, as soon as I get around to it, I'm going to try to draw out that idea for a pipe and take a picture of it and email it to you. It's just I've had a lot of stuff going on, and I always got a lot of stuff going on. I even still eventually got to get over to Mom so she can do her VR to the fans for the Mom and Me videos, and I feel like I've let people down that way, but I can't help circumstances. So for all the fans out there, I apologize for that, and please just stand by because eventually it will happen. I just don't know when. I sure will, buddy. I sure will. Well, everybody, wherever you're at in this world, may you be blessed. Thank you for hitting like, share, and subscribe. Till next time.